Hi everyone, my name is James Valiant, and let me show you a really popular dish called Filipino spring roll, also known as Lumpiang Shanghai. Now, don't be confused with the name. It really just comes from China, but really it's just smaller and more meatier. There's different variations to do this in every parts of the Philippines, but my version is really easy. It does take time, but let me show you how. I love making Lumpiang Shanghai because it can be served during birthday parties, reunions, or just any simple gathering with friends. Now, as you can see, what I did was that I used a magic bullet to really emulsify all the ingredients. I know a lot of people, they actually mince all the ingredients, but for me, using the magic bullet really gives it a lot of flavor. So as you can see, this is what's happening here. Now, I'm just gonna use my hands to really mix it, and at the same time, what I'm doing here is I'm actually have 2 eggs, and I'm just going to scramble this, and the reason being for that is that this really allows the meat to stick together. As you can see, the texture is absolutely perfect. What I usually like to do is that once all the ingredients are in the bowl, I actually like to put them on the fridge for about at least an hour. And this really gives it to soak all the flavors in, and I cover it up. And at the same time, what I like to do is I beat about 2 eggs, and this will really use when I wrap the paper. Now, speaking of the papers, you can actually get various different sizes of papers. I like to use this one because, you know, it's smaller and it's like one hit wonder. That's it, it's done. You can get a little bit bigger, but you can't have to cut it off at the very end. So I like to use the smaller one. And now we are ready to wrap our spring roll. One tip though is that sometimes this gets really hard. What I like to use is that a cloth with hot water, and I actually like to cover them. And the reason being for that is that it gives a lot of moist with the wrapper. Now what I do is I actually separate one wrapper at a time, cover them up, and I take about 1 spoon. And you know, I actually don't put it in the middle, I actually push it right to the very side. And what I do with it is I just put the end, this, so, and a little bit of eggs, and wrap it one side, another side, and just wrap it. So we are done wrapping all the lumpias. The best thing about making Lumpiang Shanghai is that you can actually freeze them and serve them whenever you can. Now let's get started cooking. Alright, so we are ready to fry our spring roll. Now one tip though is that you have to start heating your oil from high heat and then into more of a medium heat. Now I would suggest to actually use a canola oil. It's a little bit more healthier, but I wouldn't suggest to use an olive oil because it actually burns. Now just to do this, you just want to have enough oil that actually covers your spring roll. I just put it right there, just like that. Usually, I like about 3 to 5 minutes of frying time depending on the size of your spring rolls. As you can see, it is done. The most important thing when you're making a spring roll that it is actually golden brown. Usually though, in the Philippines, they actually serve it with a ketchup or banana ketchup. But here, I just love to use a sweet chili sauce. And you can find them anywhere at any Asian store. And I love it. Again, this is your host. My name is James Valiant. Join me next time as I show you one of my favorite dish, pancit, which is essentially a noodle dish made in the Philippines, and I love it. See you next time.